Today I'm talking with Nechama Gantz. Nikki and I were students together in graduate school at the University of Virginia a few decades ago. We both studied Middle East politics and international law and organization. And Nikki recently retired from a very distinguished career in foreign affairs. She's in Tel Aviv now, and I thought it would be interesting to get her perspective on what it's like now in Israel. Nikki, it's great to see you. Thanks for being with us.
It's my pleasure. It's also great to see you, Jim.
So tell us about what lockdown means for you.
For me, it means that I need to stay in the apartment. I can only go out of the apartment to shop for food or go and get medications. But in terms of exercise, I can only go out for about 100 meters.
So are the beaches and so forth closed? And what about public parks?
The beaches are closed and we're not allowed to go to the public parks.
So one of the things that I saw was that in certain neighborhoods, especially neighborhoods where there are ultra-Orthodox Jews, they have even more stringent lockdown and restrictions. How did that come about?
That's correct. It came about because for the first couple of weeks, they were not quite aware about the dangers of the coronavirus as they continued with their daily lives. The result was that the rate of infection was the highest in the country in their neighborhoods. So they had no choice, and in order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus to other parts of Israel, they had to do an even stronger lockdown in order to get even the people that were sick in those neighborhoods out from that neighborhoods in order to try to reduce the number of the people that were ill in those particular neighborhoods.
So who's enforcing this?
The police, with the support of Israeli soldiers.
And how many cases are there now in Israel?
As of today, we have about 11,200 cases. But the good news that the number of deaths from the coronavirus as now is only about 100, less than 120, I think.
Now, as you know, one of the issues in the United States and in some other places is whether or not there are enough ventilators. Has that been a problem for your country?
Yes, that has been a great problem. And in order to prevent us from reaching that number, the Prime Minister with the Minister of Health has decided from the beginning to make the rules much stricter, because we knew that we have a massive shortage. But in order to cope with the shortage, the country has done two major things. First, to try to import ventilators from those countries that have agreed to sell us. In addition, they managed to get Israeli innovators in certain industries to manufacture those machines in Israel, and that they have succeeded.
Now, I read something very interesting yesterday, and I'll be curious about your thoughts about it and how it's being reported in Israel. And that is that there have been some discussions between Hamas and Israel government officials about exchanging ventilators for Palestinian prisoners, Israeli prisoners, excuse me.
Well, what I understand, the discussion has been more in terms of exchanging prisoners, because even before the discussions of the prisoners, Israel is doing the best what it could to help the Palestinians on the other side with giving them medical supplies.
What type of safety net does Israel have for those who have lost their jobs? And what is the unemployment rate now, if you know?
The unemployment rate, unfortunately, it's very high. It's about 25%. They have taken some measures to have a safety net, but to some, it's not sufficient. And the money that has been legislated to give, not all of it has been distributed yet. So there are some problems in terms of the money reaching the people.
Well, I've seen that there are really two different approaches about how to provide the assistance. You're seeing the European model where funds are provided to companies to keep their people employed, while in the United States, people are being furloughed or laid off, and money is then going to them. What is the Israeli approach?
The Israeli approach is similar to the American model, that the people were asked to take a leave of absence for the beginning of the duration of the coronavirus, and then they can claim unemployment insurance. So every employee that has been given a leave of absence is now eligible to get unemployment insurance money.
Now, Israel has been locked into not just one election, not two, even they've had 3 elections to try to form a government. And Bibi Netanyahu and Benny Gantz have been, trying now. I guess they have formed an emergency government. Is that correct?
And as far as I know, not yet. The negotiation is still going on. The negotiation is still today midnight. And right now, as I speak to you, I don't even know if it's going to be successful.
So do you expect then that there'll have to be another election at some point?
If they don't succeed by tonight, that's a real possibility, which most people in Israel really don't want to do right now.
So often when there's a situation, an atrocity like this that's happened, people rally around their leader. Are you seeing this with your prime minister? Is Bibi Netanyahu a beneficiary now of perhaps more favorable polls than before?
Well, the poll that was released today is indicating that Bibi is a beneficiary, that if elections were held today, the number of people that will vote for him would increase. Because as a whole, Bibi is getting good grades for how he's managing the crisis in Israel.
And how is the Israeli press reporting on the United States about how President Trump is handling the crisis?
For what I've read, the press is reporting what I think it's being reported in the United States, that he has not handled it correctly from the beginning.
Another issue that is causing, I suspect, some consternation in Israel is the fact that Jews who wish to come to Israel right now, say from France, where there's been a great deal of publicity about this, they're unable to come. How is that being reported? And how do you, as a citizen of Israel, view this? Because it's really the first time that such a situation has arisen.
I don't think that is correct. The position that the Israeli government has taken, that that Israelis that live in foreign countries, they can come back to Israel, and all help has been extended to them to be able to come back. Non-Israeli citizens right now are not allowed to come in because of the coronavirus.
Right, and that's what I read, and why there were some issues about that in France and other countries as well. When do you expect, or what's being reported about the lockdown, and any thoughts about when you might see business reignite in Israel?
Well, this is right now under discussions. and various options are being considered. But there is a meeting under the Prime Minister to be held this coming Thursday, where various people within the ministry, within the Treasury, within the Health Ministry will give their positions, and when they think will be the correct time to start coming out. But whatever it's going to be a very gradual process, because they're afraid that if they don't do it gradually, then the coronavirus can come back. And this is one thing they don't want to do.
Now, all flights are canceled into and out of Israel, is that correct?
Most flights, because there's still flights that bring Israelis back to the country, and cargo flights that bring in vital medical supplies are still flying to and from Israel.
Have there been any major outbreaks in the Israeli military?
As far as I know, it's a minor issue.
Okay. Well, Nikki, I want to thank you so much for being with us. Wish you and your family as safe health, be well, and hope to see you back in Texas in the not too distant future.
Let's hope that it's going to be more near than far.
Absolutely. Take care.